Hey everyone. Um, I'll be honest, I don't have anything written down for this or anything really prepared for this, so I really want everyone watching this, if anyone happens to watch this, to basically treat it as kind of a stream of consciousness on my part. There has been a very, very large issue that I've been coming across lately, and that is the state of race in the tabletop gaming hobby. Now, what does that mean exactly? Like, what I mean is, let's be honest, everyone. Let's lay some realities on the table here. Tabletop gaming is, by and large, a still very it is still a very white dominated hobby. There's no way I can say that with there's no way I can say that in a more tactful way. There's no way I can really sugarcoat that. It is still one that is dominated by that majority. And don't get me wrong, there has been significant progress made in the hobby as a whole, in the community as a whole. However, there are still major glaring issues that need to be brought up. And real talk, it's not just race, but it's also gender, people of differing sexual orientations. If you want to call me an SJW, you can go right on ahead. Because if me wanting to feel comfortable at a table is too PC, I'm sorry, man. I don't think I'm gonna game with you. Like that's a very honest truth. We come to these games to have fun, and we come to them for a sense of escapism. And one thing that is not what does not appeal to any gamer of any race is to sit down at a table where you're supposed to be escaping only to be confronted with the same reality. If that makes any sense, I'm not quite sure. Like I said, this is going to be a lot of stream of consciousness. I may contradict myself more than a few times. I may loop on around to the same point, may become a broken record, but it was something I felt the need to say because I've come into more and more games lately. It's not just one game in particular. However, I will admit that D&D and World of Darkness are my two bigger games. Much more of an emphasis on World of Darkness. Definitely a bigger emphasis on World of Darkness. And there seems to be this perception that just because it's a game, that just because it's not real, that you have carte blanche to essentially say whatever you like, and that if I'm not okay with it for whatever reason, then I need to leave the table. When I say I don't mean me personally. However, I personally have experienced that situation. There are plenty of others that also have. So it does stand to mention that if you sit down with a group, regardless of who they are, regardless of their background, any of that, and you're upfront about what you're going to do and what you're planning on introducing into the game, and your players are okay with that, then more power to you. Those tables do not have issues for me. If everyone is cool with a thing in their table, then no issues. But if it were someone coming to a table and they're like, oh, by the way, we're going to casually use the N-word nigh on constantly throughout the game, and if you have a problem with that, leave. That's significantly less okay. That's significantly less okay. That becomes, that literally becomes, you're going to listen to me use racist terms and spew more hateful ideas, and if you are for some reason not okay with that, such as, I don't know, you were born a certain way and you experience that same hatred every day, and it's something that you're probably going to continue to experience until the day you die. If you have any issues with that, you should just go. And also, you're a social justice warrior. Like, no, 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 no. Can we not do that? I don't. Gaming already has a reputation. And when I say gaming, it's not just limited to tabletop gaming at this point. Unfortunately, it's limited. It's to all gaming. There's a certain reputation about a very hateful and callous ideology, I guess. Now, please don't get me wrong. I'm not calling anyone white supremacists or racists or any of that. I am keeping this limited to things that are expressed in game and table manners at this point. This ain't that kind of video. The hobbies do have this very hateful stereotype. The second you get angry, you're going to call someone some N-word or some F-word or some other word like that. And I'm going to tell you what it does. It's going to alienate players. It alienates players. I will not be a part of a group that openly just kind of throws out language like that and is okay with it. This is just me, but I do know that there are quite a few people in the hobby that feel otherwise. Because don't get it. I don't want anyone to misunderstand. There is a growing community out there of people that are a part of the hobby that are not a part of any sort of majority. And if we feel unwelcome enough in your games, we can just go and make our own games, which I have done. I've definitely done that before. I've gone out and I've just made games because the group that would come before it just was very set in its problematic behaviors. I'm trying my best to be as neutral as possible about this. However, I will admit that this is coming from an emotional place. And we can and will create that table for us. We can and will create that. This will get political, but we will make that safe space for us. Flat out. Or we can make that right now. Fortunately, there are much, much, much more good tables than there are bad tables. For every one table that's willing to spew for every bad table that is willing to engage in the behaviors that I've been describing, there are about 3 or 4 more that are actively against that. So I don't want anyone to get it twisted. I'm not trying to say this is every gamer out there. I'm not even saying it's most gamers out there. However, I'm saying that there are enough gamers that engage in this for it to be a problem still, and for me to make this video. which I don't know if anyone is going to watch. If anyone does watch it, thank you. Because I think I'm good here for right now. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I likely won't make another video again. I just somewhat felt like making one because I felt ways, I guess. So, yeah, I will see you all later.